team, so-called search team. I was in that team. So then they start to search that Panchen Lama's reincarnation. Of course, all Tibetans expect the Dalai Lama will, His Holiness Dalai Lama will, identify his reincarnation. Then that time, the liberal leaders like the Zhao Ziyang and especially the Yan Minfu. Yan Minfu is the director of the United France. So he, on the meeting, he said, not his decision, that in China is different, the system. The central government have to make a decision. The central government make a decision and give him that kind of power, so like that. So on this meeting, he said, the final decision the central government have to make, maybe an announcement, maybe showing some kind of, that's authority and doing some kind of ritual things like that. So except that, so we can ask His Holiness Dalai Lama's idea, can include his idea. We can have his reference. So then the Tibetans, all Tibetans are very pleased. Because of that kind of decision. So even some Lama among our team said, can I go to Dharamsala and talk to Dalai Lama like that? Then they said, oh, no, you don't need to worry. So we have a plan. So then later, actually, I didn't know that. So later they contacted Jalo Dondro, who is the one of the older brother of His Holiness, and discussed that Panchen Lama's issue even. So then everything looks very smooth, then all of a sudden everything stopped. Why? Because the Tiananmen Square. So when Panchen Lama passed away, then lots of people, spiritually, they can't handle it. Everybody is a big, kind of sad thing happened in Tibet. So particularly his parents and his teacher all can't handle it. Then they all went to hospital. So my uncle was in the hospital, then he stayed in Beijing. So I have to take care of him, so that's why I was in Beijing. So then I saw that whole the Tiananmen students, demonstration, very beginning until the things become very serious. So beginning just the group of people, kind of memorizing the Huyaobang. So that's why small group of people, maybe 10 or something, gathering in that in Tiananmen Square. Then later on, that time people didn't pay attention what they're doing there, like gathering there every day. So one day they put up a very big Huyaobang's picture. So then people start a little bit, wondering what's going on there. But, nobody said something there. So that's why the people became bigger and bigger. So then after 2 months, one day, so had it's amazing like a demonstration in front of the Beijing Tiananmen. So that before that also had lots of days. They started a long time ago. From the place, there's a temple. I was studying there. That temple is Panchen Lama's the high level of Buddhist temple in Beijing. So I was a student there. So that's why I'm still staying there. And I go to the Beijing Shehe hospital to visit my uncle. So that's why I go through that Tiananmen Square all the time. So I, went there. So the final day I said, the people are from all over the China, and I had the biggest demonstration in the Tiananmen Square. So not just only Tiananmen Square, all over the Chinese, Beijing's different streets. So a million people, I think over 1 million people gathered there. So then big trucks and the small vans and the cars and the banners and the drums and lots of, that's really fascinating. You're going to cry, when you see that. That's showing something, showing what? Showing the starvation of the democracy and the freedom. So then soon after that, they cracked down. So because of that, then some liberal leaders, they supported that students' movement. So that's why the Yan Minfu I mentioned himself also supported that students' movement. And some people said that he led the whole officials from his office to the Tiananmen Square and the demonstration, but I don't know that's true or not. But anyway, his position and everything removed. So that became the biggest obstacle for the Panchen Lama's reincarnation. So that's why for 4 or 5 years they stopped, completely stopped. Then after that's when they started, then that's every decision or policies changed. We can't contact you, Dalai Lama, and so on. So that's why then we had that's golden urn ceremony and so on. So that's all I participated. So then eventually I decided to escape. Then why? Because that's a face the Miss some just mentioned. So that's Tibetans and Mongolians, and especially the religious people, the faith and practice is very important. So the Chinese very high official is, indirectly asked me to be the Chinese version of Panchen Lama's teacher. So that's why I can't handle it. Then I escaped. So those kind of story, then how to escape and so on. So those are kind of, when I give a book tour in some different places, I started that way, like a little bit like a Hollywood style. So that can draw attention. So then the book's name also I would like to explain. The book's name, I write, that's very interesting. You both, you're Tibetan, but I don't think you write Tibetan first. I guess you started in English, right? So you're Chinese. I don't know. You started in Chinese or in English. So I should write in Tibetan first, but I started my book draft in Chinese. So, because Chinese for me is very easy, I learned Chinese. Then, I started this book 12 years ago, actually, when I escaped in Bay Area. So soon after that, I bought a computer. So that time, I don't know, there's a Tibetan software or not. So the Chinese software already there. Then also, top of that, then some terms are in Chinese, easy, I can read, but in Tibetan, I have to think about it, then I have to make new terms. So later on, even myself can't understand what that means. So that's why I started in Chinese anyway. So now I'm working on my Tibetan too. So when I started, then I have to have a name for that. Then I think then I give a name as the wind, against the current, something like that. Feng Shui Ni Feng. So that means like the water river going that way, but the wind against this river. So that's the idea is, like our daily life just normally going, but lots of obstacles. That's I said. Then soon after, our American friends working together, and they said then they find out I'm writing book, then they helped me and translated and also interviewed and later they graphed to English. So then the publisher, they said they need a name, they need a really good name. Then they said, what's the name called? Then I say like that. And then later our American friend translated this to River and Wind. So that's a river and wind. That doesn't make sense like